Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Laugh While You Scream with me, your host, Robin Bagayoko. Okay? Once again, no guests, no co-hosts, no none of that. So we can just, what can we call it? Laugh when you can? Because since I'm going to be by myself, there's only so many jokes I can tell by myself about these scary stories, right? So I'm going to try my best. And this will be Laugh When You Can. Okay. But welcome back, you guys. We're reading short scary stories from Reddit. Okay. And today's OP is trash_Tia. If you are a listener to this podcast, you already know when it comes to Trash Tia how the stories can be. And like I said, I have not been reading them ahead of time. So I don't know what we got going on. It's going to be a surprise for everybody. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Right in your eyes. Okay. So today's story is called The Government Just Deemed Me Unborn. Okay. It sounds like a very interesting title. Very interesting indeed. So we're going to get into it and see what Trash is talking about. Okay. When it was first announced, my mom tried to send my brother and me away. Our elderly are our most precious population. Our 70-year-old president announced via public broadcast. That is why, effective immediately, all individuals under the age of 18 will be designated as unborn and will be subject to compulsory organ donation for those in need. I'm going to take a quick pause right here. Could you believe that? If if that was ever a thing, oh my God. Anyway, okay, back to the story. The broadcast was cut halfway through him outlining a yearly lottery where every child under the age of 18 would be put into a draw. Adulthood is when we decide. The president told our horrified nation, if your children deserve to be born, you're going to stay with Grandma, Mom told the two of us, ushering us into the car. But we weren't the only ones trying to escape. The roads were packed with cars, families trying to run. We got as far as the Canada border before Mom was tackled to the ground, a gun pointed at her. Freddie tried to run and was caught, dragged to his feet. As unborns, we were stripped of our rights. I pretended not to see the man's sickening smile when he pulled the trigger. The guard's lips found my ear, more of a breathy laugh. That includes parents attempting to evade the rules, kids. My brother and I were delivered back home in a police cruiser to find Dad hanging from the ceiling fan. Dad wasn't allowed a funeral, and as unborns, Freddie and I wouldn't have legal ownership of our parents' bodies until 18, until we were deemed born. My first lottery was in March, spring. The days were warmer, and the sun felt nice on my skin. After my failed attempt to die on my own terms, I was pulled from the tub by the house mother, dressed in white according to the rules, and taken to the town square. There, I was shoved into the other kids standing in two clinical lines, girls in dresses and boys in pants. Freddie stood at the back, head bowed, his eyes glued to the ground. We had already said our goodbyes the night before. Nora Fleetwood, a man in a suit, held up a folded piece of paper with my name. Maybe I should have dug the razor in a little deeper. I didn't speak, didn't scream. When rough hands grabbed me and pulled me to the front, the crowd of kids were forced to clap, forced to be happy. I was about to be revoked of my born status. Thank you, the woman smiled widely at me. Thank you for your sacrifice and your willingness to give back to our nation's elders. Freddie didn't call out my name. He stayed still, frozen. But when I was herded away, I heard him. Nora! His wild eyes found mine, lips curled into a snarl. Nora, run! I didn't run because there was nowhere else to go. If I ran, I'd be shot in the back of the head. Treated like precious cargo, I was gently lifted into the back of a white van for immediate transportation to the nearest hospital, along with 5 other kids. A needle was slid into my arm by a man in a white gown, and I slept for a while, dreaming of what ifs. If that announcement was never made, Mom would still be alive. I would be in my sophomore year of high school. I'd be thinking about colleges, Ivy Leagues, boyfriends, parties. I was half conscious when bright light blinded me. Opening my eyes, I was inside a clinical white room, my wrist strapped down. I blinked, my flickering gaze finding a tube in my arm. Thank you, a woman's voice startled me. There was a figure standing by my bedside, haloed in white light. The woman grasped my hand. Thank you for stepping forward to help my dying son. I flinched away from her, clarity blossoming. I'm here against my will, stupid bitch, I slurred, tugging at my restraints for emphasis. A boy around my age sat next to her, his head bowed, hands clasped. I can't pronounce it. I'm over here struggling. Hands clasped in his lap. He looked pretty young for an elder. The woman stood slowly, smiling down at the boy. I'll leave you and your donor to speak alone. The boy didn't move, offering a mumbled sure. When she was gone, I propped myself up on my pillow, giving a half-hearted yank to the straps pinning my wrists. May I ask, I said, still slightly high on anesthesia. I blew a raspy testing my swollen tongue. What skin cream do you use? The boy's head snapped up, and my breath caught in my throat. He was beautiful, almost inhuman, ethereal, porcelain white skin. His head of brown curls was crowned with bone threaded with flowers and tangled green, eyes a vivid, unfamiliar shade of green that stole the air from my lungs. Everything about him was sharp. His lips curled to reveal razor teeth, ears harboring distinct points. I didn't fully hit it. I guess they meant it. It didn't fully hit me until he stood up from the chair. You look pretty fucking good for a 75-year-old, I muttered, my voice slurring. I'm sorry, the boy whispered. My heavy eyes tracked his movements, settling on the sharp, cutting wings protruding from his back. He hid them quickly, shrugging a leather jacket over himself like he was ashamed. Our species has been wiped out, he said, voice low. Our young fae have been decimated by a virus that makes us reject our own organs. And he broke off, coughing violently. His body spasmed, blood splattering across his lips. He staggered forward until he dropped to his knees behind my bed, choking up scarlet, fleshy pieces into his hand. Slowly, his palm found my chest, then slid to my stomach, fingers trembling. Your leaders agreed to this exchange. His lips curled into a smile as my heart began to pound beneath his touch. We give them our magic, he coughed this time. A chunk of white hit the floor. I'm sorry, a chunk of red hit the front of his gown, and they give us their unborns. The end. Okay, so this was a very interesting story. Interesting indeed. I try my best to read stories without having too many issues, too many stops, corrections, such and such. Hopefully, I'll do a better job the next go round, which will be tomorrow. Okay. So make sure to join me again tomorrow where we are going to try to find the funny. Okay. In this story here, where the government has decided that every kid under the age of 18 is deemed unborn, it is very scary if that situation should ever occur. And yes, probably killing yourself would have been the first thought to come to your head, because who wants to live through whatever situation they have going on and whatever new plan they came up with? It's very scary indeed, okay? Very scary indeed. So the question for this story would be, if you were under 18 and deemed unborn, would you suffer through donating your organs? Yes or no? Because then you probably try to kill yourself, which would have been a no. And this is just a fictional situation. Nothing to we don't need to dive into the subject of suicide or none of that. We don't need to do that right now, okay? Because that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's the question. So whenever content comes up, like I said, that relates to the story, be sure to answer that question if you have the chance to, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining us once again. While you are here, don't forget to subscribe, okay? Rate 5 stars, and leave a review. Also, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms by hitting the link tree in the description for this audio. If you're a fan of true crime, don't forget to check out In Time Crime, which is also in the link in the description for this audio, okay? Also, for In Time Crime, I did announce that Murder Mystery Monday would have been yesterday, but then I decided that Murder Mystery Monday would be the beginning of the first Monday at the beginning of the month, okay? So the first Monday of the beginning of the month will be April the 6th, okay? That will be the very first Monday, and that will be the Monday that we will have Murder Mystery Monday, okay? Thank you guys so much for stopping by once again, and we will see you tomorrow, okay? Have a wonderful day and love you lots. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.